Hello, ladies. Happy holidays. I know we are heading right towards Christmas here. We're only a few days away. And for those of you that don't know me, my name is Angela. I'm a healthcare professional. I've been working in the field of women's health for over 20 years. And I have a passion for helping females, especially as they get into their 40s and beyond, to help them rebalance their hormones naturally, to help you feel like you have the energy that you want and need to not only do your life and just your everyday stuff, but to actually get you feeling like you can do much more beyond that. You can accomplish your goals, you can really live your dreams because you are feeling like the best version of yourself. It's not enough just to kind of get by in our everyday life and say, well, this is maybe all there is because I just don't feel like my best self. And I know that low energy is something that comes up a lot for women as the hormone levels lower. So the female sex hormones, estrogen and progesterone are lowering. They're lowering more quickly as you get into your 40s and into your early 50s until you get into that transition into menopause. And with this, many women do feel tired, sluggish, like their memory isn't that great. They just don't feel like the best form of themselves. And I know it's really, really common when you're busy, like you are probably now leading up to the holidays, and you may have been busy over the last month or so, that you feel even more tired because you got more to do. That to-do list is never ending anyways, and add more to it, and you just can't get it all done. And you especially can't get it all done if you are feeling that tired, sluggish, kind of brain foggy feeling. So what is the solution here? You can't get it all done. You're not meant to get it all done. That's the first thing to think about. But the other thing is if you are at a stage where you want to be able to get it all done, and that is part of you feeling like you're living your best life, is not only keeping up with your daily tasks, but doing things beyond that that make you feel happy, then we need to get a solution for you. And so I know with low energy and the lowering female sex hormones that there always is going to be a solution. But the key is for you to understand where the imbalances are coming from in the first place. They're not just coming from your female sex hormones lowering. There's always going to be more to it. And what I have found most commonly, and the reason that women feel more tired and sluggish as they get into this time period of life, is because often they have a toxin load in their body that's too high. Now, when we think toxins, we think, oh, I'm not exposed to toxins. Where could the toxins be coming from? I live a pretty clean, healthy life. But we can actually have a toxic load or burden in our bodies that has built up over 10, 20, 30, maybe even 40 years. So here's some of the potential, and see if this sounds like you. Have you used antibiotics in the past? Maybe only once or twice, maybe more than that, throughout your lifetime, from even way back when you were a child. What can happen is, I'm not saying the antibiotics themselves are toxic, but what they can do is they can destroy some of your beneficial bacteria in there, and they can actually cause overgrowth over time unless you do something very specifically to restore and rebalance that gut bacteria after taking antibiotics. It can cause a buildup of non-favorable bacteria in the gut that can become quite toxic to you over time. So if the body's not able to get rid of this, rebalance it, it actually can really mess with your energy. It can lower it. So that's one thing. Another thing that often we would not think about as far as toxins, but again, keep in mind, this is over our lifetime up until now. If you're in your early 40s, mid 50s, we're talking a buildup over 20, 30, 40 years of using products. Females use products. So we use products on our skin, on our hair, on our nails, lips. We're definitely, I think, a little bit higher in that category than most males. And a lot of these products are very unregulated. What's in them? If you actually look at the ingredients on the back of many of our products, you can't pronounce what they are. Typically, that means that they are not in their healthy, whole food, whole plant-based state when they come into your body. A lot of these products are made of chemicals. A lot of them are made of things called xenoestrogens. A lot of them create different byproducts in the body as you put them on your body and they come in. Our skin is our biggest organ. It absorbs all this stuff. So that's another potential place that you may have a buildup of toxic load or toxic burden in your life. Another place, which you might be kind of shocked by, it can come from your home. So there's a lot of toxic byproducts from building a house. And then when they close it all in, you don't necessarily know what's behind the walls. A lot can happen when you are living in a home. A very common one is leaks. So leaks from taps can be behind the walls, can be something you see, but something that's hidden, and it can create mycotoxins or mold spores. And this often can also create something that we ingest through our breath, and it can create a toxic environment inside our body. We can have a buildup of mold or mycotoxins. So these are some common things that I find that women have no idea is happening in their bodies, and it's actually creating a total zap in their energy because it's not allowing the body to produce energy in the cells on a daily basis because it's being disrupted by toxins. Another thing is diet. So if we are eating foods that are potentially a little higher in toxic load or burden, and what I mean by this is fruits and vegetables that are heavily sprayed with herbicides and pesticides, the crops for mass production, that stuff that you see in the grocery store that is mass produced. If you're eating that all the time and maybe you're not cleaning the produce well, or maybe you're just not aware of how high the toxic load or burden is, over time, this definitely will increase the toxic load on your body. So all of these things will have an impact on how you absorb your nutrients, how you utilize your nutrients for fuel to create energy. And over time, over a lifetime, it can start to zap your energy. Many women think it's related to their lowering sex hormones because this is also happening at the same time. But actually, it's most commonly not the hormones, because if it was the case, everyone would feel completely zapped of energy as they got into their 40s and 50s as a female. And the truth is that they don't. So I felt zapped for energy actually much earlier than this, when I was in my late 20s, early 30s, and my hormones weren't at a point where they were shifting and changing that much yet. They were still fairly balanced. They were still at kind of an optimal level as far as production. So for me, it was actually related to a toxin load. Now I had to figure out what that was. For me, it was a buildup of some non-favorable bacteria. I'd been on some antibiotics on and off when I was in my early 20s. That was part of it. I also had a buildup of mold in my body from living in a couple of different basement suites when I was in my 20s. I didn't realize that. And I also was not using favorable products. I started to in my mid-20s when I started to feel unwell and I got more awareness there. But for many years, I used very toxic products on my body. I used to have acne as a teenager, and I used very toxic products on my skin. I remember they would actually take all the color out of the towels I was using. It was so toxic. So you can imagine what that does inside your body. So the point being, over time, it was what had zapped my ability to produce any energy. The toxic load was higher than I could overcome by bringing in optimal nutrition. So this is possible. This is you. And you may not have the same concerns that I had. You may not have the same symptoms. You may not have the same cause, but it's very, very possible that this could be one of your main energy zaps. So keep that in mind over the holidays. I know sometimes the eating isn't as favorable as it could be, but if you're eating a diet that's high in grains, herbicides, pesticides are sprayed on those crops as well. Wheat, gluten's very infamous for that. Water your fruits and vegetables if you're eating lots of, trays and plates of vegetables with dips and that kind of thing. You don't know necessarily where it's come from. You don't know if it's organic or not, how heavily sprayed it is. You have the potential to increase your toxic load quite a bit over the holidays. Another obvious one would be through alcohol. So that can become very toxic to your liver and increase that toxic burden and load over time. And often the alcohol intake does go up over the holidays. So these are things we need to be aware of, be mindful of, and just understand that connection between some of the things that can be zapping our energy. Again, it's not all hormones. We might assume it is, but it's not always that way. So we've got to dig deeper. And as a functional practitioner, that's what I do with women all the time. We start to understand your hormone levels, how things are being utilized, processed, and then we go beyond that and understand what could be causing the disruption in your hormones. And so that does require specific functional lab testing. And typically, when I do that lab testing with women and we get an action plan in place and they follow through, they start to see positive results quite quickly. First thing that comes back often is energy, which is amazing. Another thing that improves is their skin, hair, and nail health almost right away. And this is due to being able to absorb nutrients better as you get rid of the toxic load and burden. So if you are interested in how this could work for you, if you're wondering if this is you, how I've explained it, you may have some of the things going on as far as toxic load or burden buildup over your lifetime as you get into your 40s, 50s, and beyond. You're symptomatic, you're tired, you're exhausted, you're foggy, you're not accomplishing what you want to, you're not motivated, you just can't get things done in life. You may want to connect with me. So feel free to reach out. You can go to my website, www.angelasimpsonfunctionalmedicine.ca, and that's where you can book a free complimentary consult where we'll talk about your health, talk about if it might be a good fit for us to work together, and if I think I can help you rebalance your health and wellness both now and for the long term naturally. Thank you so much for watching. Happy holidays. Check on your toxin products. Make sure that you're going as low as you can on your makeup, on your hair products, your nail products. If you're getting any of that stuff for Christmas, it's not too late. Make sure you reach out to those people that you know might be buying that stuff for you. Maybe ask them for a gift certificate. Maybe ask them to hold off on that stuff. Or if they are wanting to buy it for you anyways, maybe steer them towards the lower toxin products. ewg.org. Quit tick. You can go to that website. You can look at the products. They'll label what's high toxin, low toxic burden, and you can start to work your way into more clean products from there. So I hope that gives you some tips, some ways to make it through the holidays, but also to go well beyond the holidays into 2023, living a healthier, low toxin lifestyle so you can start to improve your energy over time. All right, take care and happy holidays.